Hello, I hope you are doing well. So today is our day 2 of solving 50 problems on Leetcode about SQL that will help us crack any SQL based interview. So our today's problem is find customer referee. We are given a custom table named customer which contains ID, name and referee ID. ID is the primary key and name is going to contain the name of the customer, that can be anything like Jack, Bob, etc. And referee ID is the self primary key. It will contain the IDs of the customers who referred the current customer. For example, we have a customer named Jack with primary key 2 who was referred by the customer with ID 1. So his data would be like 1 Jack, 2 Jack and then 1 in the reference ID. Now let's say we get a customer with ID 4 whose name is Bob who has not been referred by anyone. So in place of referee ID for Bob, there will be value null. Okay. So because you know that our foreign keys can contain the null values as well. Okay. Now the problem statement is to find the names of the customers that are not referred by the customer with ID 2. Means we have to list down the names of the customers. Okay. Just one column in the result, and those which are not referred by the customer with ID 2 means their referee ID should not equal to 2. Result table can be in any order, okay, and the result format is in the following example. Now here is the example test case given where we have 6 rows and which contain different customers. Now, if we look at our problem statement, we will skip those customers whose IDs are 2, whose referee IDs are 2. So, Alex and Mark should not be in our result. Condition not equal to 2, referee not equal to 2. Okay. So, Will, Jan, Bill and Zach should be in output. Now, if you look at here, this is what the output is. Now, let's start with writing the code. Again, we are going to have 3 parts: select, from and where. Okay, now in our select part we just need one column which is name. Now from, what is our table name? Our table name is customer. Okay, so let's write the table name customer. Now what is the condition? Condition where our referee ID is not 2. The customers which are not referred by the customer with ID 2 means referee ID is not equal to 2. Okay, so let's run this code. And see if it passes. Our test case got failed, and if you look at the problem, why it got failed is because our output did not match with the expected one. Why did our output return only Zach and not the rest of the names like Will, Jane and Bill? Well, let's notice this. If you try to observe it, the reason is it skipped all those names whose referee ID was null. Okay, so this condition just considered those columns where referee ID is not null. Okay, so we know that all the columns where referee ID is null must be in the result. Okay, so we need to apply 2 conditions here, where referee ID is not 2 or referee ID is null. Okay, so for null we need to apply a separate condition, and if you notice or if you remember the last problem, in that problem we used the AND operator, and in this case we are going to apply the OR operator where either the reference ID is null or the referee ID is not 2. Okay, so now let's run the code again to see if it passed the test. Yes, our test case is successful. Now let's submit the solution to see if we pass all the test cases or not. Okay, so yes, we passed all the test cases. That's great, and we have beaten 98.51% of the users with MS SQL Server. Don't forget to drop how many users you have beaten with your code, either in MySQL, Oracle or anything else. Okay, so let's meet tomorrow again with another problem.